My name is Alan Macfarlane. I am a retired professor of anthropology at the University of Cambridge and someone who has worked extensively in the Himalayas. So I would like to send my greetings to the conference, the International Conference on the Anthropology of Nepal and the Himalaya, and my apologies for not being present. And I hope it's an excellent occasion. The area that is covered is obviously of great geopolitical, ethnic and other significance, ecological for the waters and everything else. And it's one which is particularly fascinating because not only is it hugely varied because of the mountainous terrain, but also a tectonic plate between two great civilizations, the Tibeto-Burman Chinese civilizations to the north and east, and the Aryan civilizations of India to the south. And because of that, you get huge differences in all sorts of and aspects of life. And it's a wonderful testing ground for many anthropological theories. I was drawn to this area through the encouragement of my supervisor, Christoph von Führer-Heimendorf, who'd worked in many of these areas in the eastern Himalayas and in Nepal, and I was encouraged to go there. But I think the roots of my interest lie in my childhood. I was born in Shillong in Assam, in the eastern Himalayas, and so I was interested in Assam and that area, and worked with my mother on a book on the history of tea, which of course is the great plant of this area and has shaped its culture among other things. So Assam and tea started me off. And then when I went to do my anthropological fieldwork, I went to central Nepal, Pokhara, the Annapurna Mountains, and worked with the Gurungs. And I've been back 20 times to that area and written a number of books about central Nepal and found it a wonderful and fascinating place. But that wasn't the limits of my extensive coverage of the area, because I then later worked on the Naga peoples. These are an ethnic group who straddle the border between Assam, India, and Burma, Myanmar. And I did exhibitions and books and other things on those forest-dwelling people. The Gurungs were shepherds originally. These were forest dwellers, and so it gave you another insight into the varied history of humankind. Then later I worked in Burma, Upper Burma. My great-grandfather was a British lawyer in Upper Burma and lived there longer and left more documents than almost any other person in the history of Burma from outside. So I've worked on Burma. And then finally, I have spent many years now, 20 or more years, studying the eastern Himalayas in China. So I've been to China 19 times, and particularly to the area of western China, to Sichuan, Yunnan, and that area, and looked at the ethnic minorities along that border, from whom the Gurungs are descended, because they came down through that route. So all these different kinds of political system, social system, religious system in these varied areas I've looked at make me think comparatively about the huge variation and richness of this area. So I am very hopeful that future generations of anthropologists will be able to follow the early work that I and others did in the 1960s, 70s on this area, and will be able to use the many films and materials which we collected and which we are putting up on the internet for their use for comparisons through time. So let me end by wishing you all success in this conference, and I look forward to hearing from my friends, particularly Dr. Tek Gurung, about how the conference has gone. So, namaste.